Can't's not an option.
Mm.
I was told my entire life what I can't do, and it was all a lie. And then I believe in God, and the Bible says I can do all things through Christ.
Yeah.
So if I know for a fact that God has given me the ability to do something, it may be difficult, but it can be done because I'm powered by God.
Yeah.
I get empowered by what these people that come into my life to help me continue to believe what God has already shown me.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all it is. You get one word from one person that tells you that you can when everything else is telling you that you can't. That's my superpower. I'm never going to tell you what you can't do. What I will say is, well, maybe we do it this way,
Right.
or maybe try it this way, or maybe your idea is actually for someone else, but if you partner with them, something that's supposed to be for you will make more sense.
Double show you.
Tell you can. You are undeniable.
What's your superpower?
You are undefeatable.
Got goosebumps.
You are the less than 1%. Even when it doubts you can't.
Your path is your path. Stay committed, stay focused, be disagreeable, optimistic, and relentless.
You are the less than 1%.
Hey everybody, Less Than 1%. We are back again. By the way, thank you for all that you do, watching the YouTube, watching us on Instagram, but also going to Apple. Please check out all the episodes. But today, I have someone special. And we got to spend some time together. This is a little bit of a different experience for me because normally some people kind of fly in and fly out, but I got to spend some time with this amazing human. So welcome to Less Than 1%. Thaddeus Bullard, or, AKA Titus O'Neil. Now, I will say, before we start, like, my nickname is Mu, and I didn't even make that up. Like, somebody called me Mu, and I just answered. You got a nickname, Titus O'Neil. That's a legit nickname.
Yeah. Your nickname doesn't make you money. Mine does.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Mu to make me some money, but it's not working out.
Yeah.
But welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you.
Man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and what's great about this is that, like I said, in the open, normally this is an opportunity for me to, to get together with people. I always say that I'm not great, but my friends are, and so, but we got some time to spend together, and
I would defy that logic that you have. I think you're great, and I think your friends are great too.
Yeah.
But I even think it's even greater in you. I think you dumb down your greatness sometimes. And so
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate the kind words for me and the other guests that have come on, but I definitely will not allow you to diminish your light in the presence of me.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with him because
I'm way bigger than you. Yeah, it's not an argument. I'm
not gonna argue with him, so I'll let that slide. I'll let it slide. But no, I appreciate you. So listen, let's just start off with maybe, I think people who know you will watch this and they'll see you. They've seen you in lots of different environments, which we can talk about. But then there's a lot of other people who are on this show that watch the show that are, sort of the underrated, those people that maybe not, in the world, so to speak. And so they're going to hopefully see a different side of you. But what if I had to ask what you're best known for? Like, what is your signature, that one thing that's your signature thing? What would you say that was?
I mean, I like to say that I'm a disciplined disruptor. I believe that I'm a very transformational minded person, and I don't really do much in the realm of transaction, simply because I think that every interaction that I've been afforded has allowed me to become a better person. It's allowed me to see my superpower as a person, and as a person that grew up very insignificant to a lot of people because of my behavior, much like you, was a bad kid, wanted to fight all the time, got into a lot of trouble, to now being in a position where I'm very significant and my results speak for themselves. whether it's through my foundational work or through just being able to pour into athletes, entertainers, doctors, lawyers, um, teachers, kids. I believe that any room that I walk into, I can change it. And a lot of people feel opposite, you know.
Yeah.
They feel like, where do I fit in? I fit in everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I don't really fit in though, if
There's
that
no,
makes sense.
yeah, it's like, I
Yeah, like
always say, if you don't fit in, don't fit in, right?
yeah,
Like,
I'm not trying to fit in. I
yeah,
know that I'm different, and before my difference again was looked at as the bad kid. Um, Now I'm just focused on being a great man, a great
wow.
father, great servant. Hopefully, again one day, a great husband, um, and a great friend. And so, what do I feel uh, a discipline disruptor is? I believe that a discipline disruptor is someone that, on a day to day basis, refuses to believe that this is how things should be.
Mm,
And just because they've been that way for quite some time doesn't mean it can't change. And I think a lot of people get discouraged, whether it's in politics or religion or business. They get discouraged by seeing the same old. And it is disheartening, but it's not discouraging to me because I believe that if I get the right people in the room, regardless of their political affiliation, their social status, their religious beliefs, if I get the right people in the room, I'm going to make these people all go in this one direction, and they're going to see their superpower. They're going to see their greatness. They're going to see how great they are. And I mean, literally, I've been in rooms with billionaires that seemingly have everything, and they they still are searching for that purpose in their
yeah,
life. And I kind of help guide them right to that purpose. Don't just write a check. Let me take you to these situations so that you can actually see where your money's going.
yeah,
And who knows, you might meet a kid or you might meet a family that you just absolutely fall in love with. And next thing you know, you have your chosen family that you had no idea that you were this white guy with a beautiful family living in the suburbs that will be fall um, in love with this minority family, whatever it is, Hispanic, Black,
yeah,
Asian, whatever. And you saw a way that you can help this family, and then you watch that family's life change right before your eyes. You watch that family that did not have a home, and you help them get into a place, and that they were not eating, around a dinner table, and you helped buy the first pieces of furniture in their house. Um, they were struggling to get to and from it because they were catching the bus, and you bought them a car, and it changed
yeah,
their life. It gave them an opportunity to be able to be employed so that they can get to work on time and get their kids to school and participate in sports and etc. Um, I think, yeah, for me, I've had enough of those God winks moments
yeah,
in my life to be able to confidently walk in and say, I can change this. I can fucking change this room in a
yeah,
heartbeat.
in a
I can change
heartbeat.
this situation in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
And I'm very unapologetic about it too.
yeah,
Like I will tell people in a heartbeat, like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what we're going to do. And would love your support. But even in the event that I don't get it, we're still going to get
we're
this
still
shit
going
done.
that way.
We're going to get it done.
You are incredibly deep in the way you think and see things. And also, and by the way, we played golf together, went to dinner.
Mm,
You also ask questions in a unique way. I don't know if you do this on purpose or not.
mm,
And sometimes, I don't know if you're paying attention. I'm telling you, I'm running my mouth. Da,
yeah.
da, 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 da.
And I'm texting,
Yeah, and you're
emailing.
texting. By the way, that okay. I won't. Wait, we won't get to that part because I know what his superpower is. But let's get there. But you ask deep and profound questions. You ask me some questions where it's like, okay, um, and it'll lead me to something else you said, transactional.
Mm,
Your interactions, from what I can see, are not the transactional. Even when you meet somebody or
yeah,
someone helping get in your clubs, and you're
yeah.
asking them very
Mm,
questions that you wouldn't normally ask. And I think that's to me, that's something I wouldn't just see
mm.
with your sort of your profile out there in the world. So I appreciate that. I wanna maybe we should jump because you described it well what you do with the foundation. So maybe Jordan, let's jump to that video because I think people need to see it.
Mhm.
This is one thing for you to describe it, but
Yeah.
it is profound. I mean, you even got an award for it.
Mhm.
The work that you do. So let's Jordan, let's play the foundation video.
What does impact really look like? It looks like a child walking into school confident for the first time because they have a backpack filled with everything they need. It looks like a family showing up during the holidays and leaving not just with gifts, but with dignity, joy, and hope. It looks like communities coming together. This is the work of the Bullard Family Foundation. Over the past 5 years, that work has reached hundreds of thousands. 300,000 toys placed into the hands of children. 200,000 people served through back-to-school initiatives. 150,000 backpacks filled with opportunity, but the real impact goes deeper. It's the student who received their first new pair of shoes. The young athlete cleared to play because of a physical they otherwise couldn't afford. The child who can finally see clearly after receiving an eye exam and glasses. It's the families who now have reliable transportation. The students who received dental care. The simple but powerful dignity of a fresh haircut. And just as important, it's how we care for what people carry on the inside. Through a robust mental health and wellness program, young people are given space to be seen, heard, and supported. From summer video camps that allow them to tell their stories, to art and music therapy that give expression to what words
That's young Mu right there.
to equine therapy with miniature horses, and programs like Kids and Canines that create connection and comfort. It's conversations with mentors. It's family wellness days that bring healing into the home. Because impact isn't just about what we provide. It's about how we help people feel. And beyond that, it's investment. Investment into safe spaces, into football fields and a street hockey rink, into community gardens that bring people together and create access where there was none. Because this foundation isn't just meeting needs, it's building futures. Every number represents a life touched. Every program represents a door opened. Every moment represents a chance to change the trajectory of someone's story. And tonight, that story continues because of you.
Wow, that is powerful.
Mm.
That is powerful. By the way, was that Buju Banton on stage?
No, that was Flow Rider.
Oh, that was Flow Rider.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'm pretty sure he would be pissed if you asked that question.
Well, I did. It just
Oh
flashed
no,
real
I'm just
quick.
messing
No,
with
no,
you.
no,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
messing
I
with
can
you.
edit. I can edit.
No,
Yeah.
you're good. No, he wouldn't. Flow Rider would not care.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
he wouldn't.
okay.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to come on the show.
Yeah.
So that is powerful.
Mhm.
And what's behind that though? What's behind? Well, there's a lot of people that come up from, hard situations, hard lives. Some harder than others, but there's something in you that I notice. There's one thing we talked about yesterday that'll lead into that question is you've turned down a lot of opportunities to make money. So you're turning down opportunities to make money just by doing whatever. But then you're also pouring into people. Where does that come from? What is that?
I don't think I've ever been motivated by money. I've been motivated to obviously get into a position where money wasn't an issue, but I've never been motivated by money. And as I got older and started coming into wealth and started coming into, what I went from wanting or thinking to be rich one day,
Yeah.
and like I don't care about, like, rich people go broke. Wealthy people, their kids know, we talked about this, like my kids know that they will always have a home to live in,
Yeah.
you know, whether I'm here or gone, they will always have a house to live in,
Yeah.
and not having a father growing up to lead me and guide me through certain things as a man, um, really started allowing me to, in my opinion, like take the advice of strangers and not even look at them as strangers, look at them as angels.
Yeah.
You know, I had
Yeah.
a lot of angels in my life that came in that didn't make the most money, but they were the most impactful people in my life. And I've made a commitment to be an angel,
Yeah.
you know, and even great angels fall from the graces of normal people, but I'll never fall from the grace of God.
Mm.
And I look at my name, my namesake, and how it's all in the Bible. You know, Thaddeus was one of the chosen 12 disciples, Michael, one of God's favorite angels. And my last name is Bullard, you know, and the first four letters of that are Bull.
Mhm.
I'm a Taurus to the T. And so I've always had a very rebellious spirit about like just being normal. So wealth to me is not just what you have in the bank, but it's also the relational currency that you have
Yeah.
and learning how to build uh, relationships that are meaningful. And so you alluded to it earlier, like, you know, I do talk to people a lot more than what normal people do. Most people go to a golf course and
Yeah.
they drop their bag off and they keep going. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, man, what was, you know, and it's someone, sometimes they notice me right out of the gate and it's like, oh, man, I'm a big fan, you know, this and that.
Yeah.
And then I'll have an actual conversation, you know, like, where you from? You know, how long you been working here? You know, because I think a lot of people are walking around this earth unseen
Yeah.
or being feeling like they're unseen. And having this star as, you know, a celebrity, but also having this light inside of me as a vessel of God, um, I'm just I'm I'm happy to be able to share it.
Yeah. We talked about this in relation to sort of in relationships, but I think that what I see in you, I have it in a different way with me is that people who interact with you, people who meet you or engage with you, their lives should be better, some way, shape,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
form. And I think a lot of times when you do have that celebrity, people are looking for that transactional way
Hmm.
of elevating their
Hmm.
lives. But I see that, how can the way you interact with people is really focused on making, that experience with them better.
Yeah.
And which led us both to the conversation we had about parenting, which I think I told you yesterday. I hate being a parent.
Hmm.
And people are like, "What are you talking about?" Because I am just so emotional about it.
Hmm.
It's just to the point where it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
If I was reincarnated, I know that's not a thing, but if it was a thing, I feel like I would want to avoid it because I go high with them and I go low with them. But both of us are passionate about
Mm.
that responsibility. I mean, for me, it's literally my number one
Yeah. Same.
responsibility to make sure that,
I
to your
think for
point,
any I think for any man,
it should be.
it should be. It's the
Yeah,
greatest title you ever have.
yeah,
You know, father. Um, father figure, mentor as a male,
yeah,
regardless of your culture, background, or whatever. As I think there's been so much uh, "I don't need a man" conversation
mm,
that uh, some people have really subscribed to believing that, and I believe that every human on this earth needs a man and a female
yeah,
to have good balance and have a good understanding of how to deal with emotions and feelings and facts and logical thinking and just growth points in your life. You know, there are certain things. I mean, my mom had me at 12 years old, and she raised four boys to the best of her ability.
yeah,
As much as as hard as she worked, you know, to put food on the table to make ends meet that never met. My mom, out of all the things that she could do, the one thing she could never do is be a man. She could never be a father to me. Um, and that's not a bad thing because that's not her assignment,
right,
you know?
right,
It was thrust upon her to even have me as a kid. She was a kid raising kids. And yeah, it was traumatic for her. I wasn't there. I just was produced through it, you know. Um, and I think that is one of the reasons why I'm so open about where I am with it. My
yeah,
mom hasn't, you know, really shared much with me about her experience, and I understand that trauma is different for everybody. But as a man, you know, I have grown because of
Yeah.
my trauma. I have grown because of my understanding of how to navigate through it, how to communicate it, how to communicate it to my kids. Um, when I got divorced, and I've said this several times, it was probably that time for me where, as a man, I just felt like, you know, why am I even here?
Yeah.
And I have said this publicly several times on both podcasts and speaking engagements. My kids saved my life.
Mm.
If I did not have my kids, I don't know that I would be where I'm at today as a man, or even here, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because the divorce and the process of divorce, you know, I felt like the biggest failure ever. You're talking to a person that has never been on a losing team my entire life. I defied every odd in my family history. I broke every generational curse. From the first person to graduate from high school, the first person to graduate from college, first person to own a home, first person to travel the world, like
Mm.
all these firsts. And there's a huge responsibility, but also there's this expectation, consistent and constant expectation of those that have not achieved certain things in their life, that you're just supposed to provide those things because you made it.
Right.
And I remember having a conversation with my boys. They were probably 11 and 13 at the time, and I'd say, "What's your vision of what you want to do in life?" You know, and both of them play football. They both play at the University of Florida, which is my alma mater. Um, and you know, they were like, you know, we want to, you know, they want to go play. They want to play pro football. They
Yeah.
want to own businesses. They want to buy me a house, buy their mom a house. And I'm like, stop. You don't got to buy me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want that pressure on you at all. You don't have to buy your mom anything. Like before you buy me anything and before you buy your mom anything, make sure you're set up.
Yeah.
Buy yourself a house. Because you see it all the time where guys make it to the league and they take care of their family members and then they get injured or they get cut and now they're living back with their mom or they're living with their relatives
Yeah.
because it's not a house that they own. They bought it for someone else. And I want my kids to know that like that's my responsibility is to put you in the best position possible. That's your mom's responsibility is to give you a runway that we didn't have,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so that you can take off further than I ever would have taken off or that I ever did take off as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, God blesses us with resources and opportunities for a reason. It's
Yeah.
not just to like store them up.
And it's our responsibility. I tell that people all the time, like the idea that some people have an idea, especially in our community, they have the
Mhm.
idea that, oh, I struggled
Yeah.
and I made it,
Mm-hmm.
so they should struggle too. I think that's
Yeah.
such a poor,
Yeah.
like, no, like there, if you look at generation, people talk about generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that is what you hand down, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to have your, 401, all these
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is, yeah, like you said, you start here, the next one starts there, the next one starts there. So eventually, they can fly farther than
Mm-hmm.
you ever thought,
Mm-hmm.
you could. Someone want to ask you, so like Mother's Day, right? Mother's
Yeah.
Day. I mean, you can't get a reservation on Mother's
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah. I said
It's
all the time, Mother's Day is celebrated, Father's Day is tolerated.
100%. And I think also if you look at like content, in general, because I'm always focused on content, what's being
Commercials.
consumed.
Yeah.
Right? It's people are pouring into mothers, appropriately so.
Mm-hmm.
Appropriately so. I
Yeah.
don't want to say that we
Yeah. Yeah.
shouldn't,
Yeah. No, 100%.
but I think the idea of pouring into fathers or at least supporting them, at least framing what that um, is something that is needed. And I wanted to ask you, because I have my own feelings on this and that, but I want to ask your feeling. Like all of this stuff that you've been through, all this, you built this empire, both personally and professionally. But there's pain there.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, you already threatened me once.
Yeah.
Just for the record,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah.
I already got threatened. Who's my boy? And he's
Yeah.
threatened me once already. But is there, I mean, exteriors like, hey, rock solid, strong wrestler,
Mhm.
football player. But were there times where there was sadness there? Or there are times
Absolutely.
where,
Absolutely.
you can't face
Yeah.
people in public because
Yes.
you got that sadness inside?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started doing mental health counseling in 2017. I lost a very close friend of mine, and I've like I've lost a lot of people, friends, family members, etc. Um, I've never processed those losses,
Mm.
and I lost a lot in life that I never processed because in sports it's like
Next play.
next play,
Next play.
next play, next game. You
Yeah.
know, you review it, figure out what you did wrong, keep it moving. And um, I started going to counseling, and I realized like there was a lot of things that I probably didn't know how to communicate
Mm.
or didn't feel vulnerable enough to communicate about myself to my kids, to my friends. The idea of telling people no made me cringe. Feel like I always had to, hey, can you speak here? Yeah, I got you.
Right.
Can you help me out with this? Yeah, I got you. And it's like there's a book, that my counselor gave me, The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's just he asked me this question. He said, if you were the wealthiest man in the world and you can change two things, what would they be? And I said, no one would be homeless and everyone would have food. Because I felt like those are the two most viable things that people struggle with. And he said, all right, I'm going to snap my finger now. You're going to go broke, but you're going to be able to change a lot of people's lives. Are you happy about that? I said, yeah. He said, all right, I'm snapping my fingers. You spend all your money. Everybody has a house. Everybody has food. How do you feel? You feel like you changed the world? I said, yeah, I do. He said, all right. Does that solve what you just did? Does it solve all the world's problems? Does it solve everything that you are passionate about? Does it Are kids still passing away from cancer? Are women
Mm.
still dealing with breast cancer? Are men still dealing with prostate cancer? Is cancer still an issue for a lot of families to deal with? Um, are schools still underfunded? Are
Mm.
teachers still underpaid? So you've done something that's awesome, but you haven't changed the world the way that you really want to change the world. Something's got to be told no.
Yeah.
Some things have got to be not prioritized. You make everything a priority
Yeah.
because you feel like because of your guilt of, well, if I don't do this, I'm gonna have to hear this and I'm gonna have to hear about it from this person and yada yada yada. And like I really don't care now.
Yeah.
Like if I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And if I want to do it, I'm doing it. And I feel like I've always been that way, but I've never been able to express that as openly because of my pain, uh, because of my fear of rejection. I didn't want to make someone else feel rejected by me telling them no.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Yeah. You described yourself as a disruptor, and that's my whole thing is
mm,
disruption, and
mm.
and you already. I mean, I could have saved some time and just have you write the book since you already had the description
Mm,
in there. But the idea that people don't really understand what disruption really means. There's
yeah.
disruptive,
Mm,
which you and I both can
yeah.
be,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we have been in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But then there's disruption where it's really about rejecting that status quo,
Mm,
and it's not just whining. Like there are a lot of people that make a living from complaining and
yeah.
criticizing
Yeah.
and, oh, they should have thrown this pass, or
Mm-hmm.
why did they
Mm-hmm.
pick this player. But
Yeah.
there's not too many people that can say part of my disruption is actually I'm going to solve
Yeah.
that status quo problem,
Yeah.
and I'm going to put every effort into it even though I know I can't.
Yeah.
you know
Well, the other part is that I don't have to know the answer.
mm,
I think empowered people empower people.
mm,
So yeah, I may not be the one that knows the answer to this particular problem, but I guarantee you, if I pick this phone up, I'm going to find somebody and I'm going to fire their ass up so that we can go and get it done together.
let's go.
Because what they can't do, the rooms they can't go into, but they have the idea, they have the solution, they have the power to change something if given the right opportunity, I can walk in that door and say, "Hey, this is what we want to do. Not this is what I want to do."
Yeah, that
When me becomes we, amazing things happen. My pastor, who passed away several years ago, Pastor uh, Greg Poe, used to always say, "When me becomes we, amazing things happen."
yeah,
And so this is never about me. Like, don't take it personal. Just
yeah.
because it's coming from me doesn't mean it's me. It is a we thing, you know.
That's an amazing comment
Mm.
because I don't think enough of us and who are in positions of, I wouldn't say power, but positions of influence in
All
whatever
of us,
sphere.
everybody walking on this earth is in a position of power.
Mm,
Everybody. I can when you want to get motivated to work out, you want to get motivated to live a better life, come with me, let me take you to a children's hospital and you see a kid that's 9, 10, 11 years old that's been fighting cancer since they was 6 years old and they can still have a smile on their face. You're not a hero, I'm not a hero. That's a fucking hero right
that's a
there.
hero right there.
That's a hero.
100%.
Right? You want to see how blessed you are. Let go to a hospital where someone is dealing with their family member has Alzheimer's or whatever. Like be in those situations where they're constant caretakers at a very young age
Yeah,
of their grandparents or even their parents. It'll snap you right into a reality of like how much power you truly possess.
yeah,
And I think a lot of folks, and we talked about this on the golf course, most people walking around right now are operating on a mediocre level at best.
at best.
And then those that are operating a little bit better than that are average at best.
Yeah,
Greatness truly does sometimes take a traumatic situation happening for someone to actually see how realize how great they are and how great they can be. I can show you story after story after story of folks that, you know, they come from a diabetic family. They come from a family that has so many different health issues, and then they were starting to struggle with these health issues. They were on 22 medications,
right.
and then they just said, "You know what? I'm just going to change the way I eat, start working out," and now they look like nothing's ever happened to them. They look like the epitome of health.
Yeah,
And now they're encouraging and motivating other people to do the same thing. Like we all have superpower in us.
yeah,
We're all powerful people. It's just a matter of whether or not the right person activates what that is or the right situation or the right traumatic situation.
right. To
You
to
know?
to to catalyze them. But I'm going to edit that a little bit.
Okay.
And it takes a special person. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a. I'm going to disagree with you
Yeah.
and risk my life.
No, no, no. No, no. I
No,
love
I'm
healthy
just playing. I'm
I
just playing.
love healthy
I know.
disagreement.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. But I think that everybody has that power in them.
Mhm.
I agree with that. But the special people share it.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Because people will,
Yeah.
well,
They
like you
they they,
talked about
they
we
feel
over
like it's
me.
theirs. It's
Yeah,
theirs.
yeah.
I did
I
this.
did
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
I
yeah.
did
I
that. But
did that. It's like, bro, look, no, you had a coach
yes,
that gave you every single opportunity to be your best.
yes,
And you screwed it up a lot, but your talent overtook that.
yeah,
But the discipline that it took to go to class, the discipline that it took to show up on workouts, like you didn't just show up this professional athlete, this professional person, you know, like doctors, they can be egotistical too. Pilots can be
yeah.
egotistical too. And it's like somebody helped you along the way. This is not a
Absolutely.
you've none of us have the ability to say, I did this, especially if you're a believer in God.
Yeah,
Like he's the ultimate source. We just benefiting from the resources, which will all change. Everything's circumstantial. Like, don't I always tell people, never make a permanent decision based on a temporary situation. And honestly, all of it's temporary.
yeah,
It's all temporary. You can be high today and low tomorrow. A life situation can happen to any of us at any time. We're all one situation away from being in a better situation, and some of us are in one situation to being in a dire situation away. And to, you know, I mean, Jeremiah 29:11 is one of my favorite Bible verses. For I know the thoughts that I have of you, thoughts of great things,
mm,
you know, and an expected end that it supersedes anything that I could ever imagine. Like people, what's your you know, folks ask me, what's your 5-year plan? I stopped doing 5-year plans about 20 years ago because I realized a long time ago, it doesn't matter what I plan out. If it's not in the will of God on my life, it ain't happening.
Right.
Some of it will show its face. Some of the things I can say, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. It'll show its face. But if it's not in the purpose of what God has called for me to do and be, it's not going to happen. And
Yeah.
that's for anybody, no matter what God you serve. The realistic is we all are born with the same gray anatomy, but all of us are born with different purposes in life. And all of us are the body of the kingdom.
And those
Yeah.
principles, to your point, 5-year, 10-year, 2-year, whatever it is, those principles, if you keep them close to you like you do, you're making those micro adjustments every day or macro
Yeah.
adjustments. You get an opportunity today that you didn't think you were going to get, and you're
Yeah.
using those principles to dictate what your future will be.
I would not have a nickname, an alias, if I went with what I felt like I was supposed to be doing.
Mm.
My passion was I'm going to coach college football. I got denied a high school coaching job. I got divorced, you know, it would have been a matter of 2 weeks. I got denied a high school coaching job. My divorce was finalized, and I signed with WWE. Like, I'm thinking I'm going to the University of Florida, hopefully become an assistant football coach now that I didn't get this job, a high school coaching job that I should have gotten. I always, you know, publicly say when I get a chance, Richard Shanti is my hero, you know, when it comes to my second part of my life, because had he hired me as a high school football coach, and I always say, and I'll thank you again, Richard Shanti, I've made so much money and traveled around the globe, and I never would have done that if you'd have hired me as the head football coach at Chamberlain High School in Tampa, Florida. So I'm forever grateful. My kids went to private school. They're in college. Um, I'm debt free. I'm stress free. I'm looking right in the camera, right at you, Richard Shanti, because I love you so much, and thank you. And that's sometimes what you have to do to people when you get denied. Your high school coach cut you years ago. Michael Jordan has that stuff. Like he got cut,
Yeah.
and like, he can thank that guy because it pushed him to something that ultimately ended up changing his life.
We,
you know, get fired from a job.
well,
Sounds pretty similar.
I mean, I built a whole brand based on my, my coach,
Right.
doing the same thing. And I agree with you. But to dive into that a little bit. So you're going through this down, and then this whole WWE thing comes out of the
I mean,
thin air, basically.
yeah, literally. I mean, I was picking up a pair of dress shoes. I had a taste for some jerk chicken. There's a place in, you know about jerk. You Jamaican?
man.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
And there was a place called the Jerk Hut in Tampa.
Yeah.
And they had a location on Gandy Boulevard, right around the corner from where I was picking up my shoes. And Dave Batista, who's one of my best friends, we talked about several times, hey, trying out for WWE, but I mean, I watched it growing up and I loved it. My grandma got into fights with my mom for allowing me to stay up to watch Monday Night Raw,
Right.
on a school night. And so, but I never saw myself doing it. Even in college, like I used to have pool parties and I would tell people, I would tell people, hey, don't come here dressed up like you coming to the club. There's gonna be a consequence to pay, and people had to find out the hard way. The whole crowd started yelling, "Go Bird, go Bird!" And I come in spirit, girls, guys, it didn't matter. Don't come here dressed up. It's my pool party. You know what I mean? That's the only time I can say this is my thing.
Everybody got it.
Yeah, everybody got it. Adults, it didn't matter. And so, like, for me, and then I get in, and it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
But we just go back a little bit before you go to that. Then he tells you, go check it out.
Yeah, I called him. I called Dave. I say, "Is this the place you've been?" Because our training facility, FCW, used to be in Tampa, and that's where all the guys went to train and rehab, etc. And I pick up I'll say, I think I'm gonna go in and poke my head in the back door and see what this place is all about. And he said, "Yeah, ask for Steve Kern or Dusty Rhodes." I
Dusty,
said,
yes.
"Who?
Dusty.
You talking about the American Dream, Dusty
Oof.
Rose?" And he was like, "Yeah, he's one of the guys that leads a lot of the talent
Yeah.
there and stuff like that. He works with the company." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out." So go back to the back door. The back door clearly says FCW and WWE talent only. I opened that door like I was already there. Looked up, Norman came in, Norman Smiley. They were a bunch of guys working out in the ring. I didn't know it at the time, but they were getting ready for TV that night. And Norman Smiley looks down and he says, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was coming in here. A friend of mine, Dave Batista, told me to come in and try to see Dusty and Steve and take a look at the place." And he said, "Well, they're not here right now, but I'm sure they would like to talk to you. We have a show tonight. Maybe you come back and talk to them after the show." So I went back to North Tampa, picked my boys up from daycare at the time. They were 3 and 5,
Wow.
and we went back to the show. And I looked over at TJ. I was like, "Is this something you think Dad can do?" And TJ was like, "You can do anything, Dad." And I looked over at Titus. I was like, "You want Dad to try to do this?" And he shook his head, "Yeah." And 15 minutes conversation afterwards, and I didn't think anything of it. I just talked to him, Dusty and Steve. I'm driving home. John Laurinaitis gives me a call. He's the head of talent relations for WWE. He's like, "Hey, I just got off the phone with Dusty and Steve, and they spoke really highly of you. So we want to bring you for a tryout. See if you like us. See if we like you. Um, we'll pay you X amount per day. And are you in shape?" I say, "Well, I've never wrestled a day in my life, so I don't know what wrestling shape is. You know what I'm saying? I work out, and
Yeah.
that's about it. Because I just continued to work out. But he's like, "No, we want to see you move around and teach you how to take a bump and stuff like that." And I was like, "All right, cool. When would you like to try to set this up?" It's like, "Well, are you free tomorrow?" Like, tomorrow? It's just Friday. Yeah, I can be there. So we'll work it out Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, and see how it goes, and then we'll go from there. I was like, "Okay, cool." So I went in Friday, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Mm.
I mean, I was so sore, bro. Like, football has nothing on this.
So was Dave still wrestling at that
He was
time?
still
He was
wrestling,
still.
yeah,
So
yeah. He
you
was
did you already have some insight as to what kind of what
somewhat.
it
I
took
mean,
to get
I
in?
yeah, somewhat. I knew it was real. The outcome is predetermined,
Right.
but the actual physical, I mean, it's real.
Yeah, when you're jumping off the
Yeah,
top
I mean,
rope,
I'm
you're
catching a
not you're
grown man. Yeah, or
yeah.
a grown man's catching
There's
me.
nothing fake about that.
Yeah, picking something up. If I throw this bottle at you and you're gonna flinch or catch it, if I throw this top at you, you're gonna feel it.
Right.
So
Right.
those chairs are real, the ladders are real, the tables are real, all that stuff that people think is not real. This is real, and you're always like this close away from something wrong happening.
Yeah, something bad
You
happened. I
know,
can imagine.
so when I say that they're the best performers in the world in WWE, they are literally the best performers in the world. There's even with their mistakes,
Yeah.
which are they happen. They're the best performers in the world because they do it on live TV for 52 weeks a year, globally, all over the world. 160 something countries on television. Some of those countries only have 3 stations, so they see them 3 or 4 times a day.
Wow.
You know, and so, um, yeah, I probably was I was the fastest hire that John Laurinaitis ever had, but that came with some heat too. You see a guy that's 6'5", 280 walking in the door, and you're, you know, 5'11". This is all you ever wanted to do,
Yeah.
and you already know the company is looking for big superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was an adjustment too. But my work ethic kind of outpaced all of that stuff.
That's awesome.
And I always tell folks, like, there were other professional athletes that thought they could just walk into this business of professional wrestling and sports entertainment, and they got humbled really quick.
Yeah.
And they,
Actually, you don't hear about them. Like
yeah, no,
you just
you
you
never
don't
hear
even
about it
hear.
because they don't make it.
They don't make it.
They don't make it past.
The ones that I mean, I don't want to call anybody out, but I don't know if you remember because we're in the basketball
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
I respect our
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
But the twins from Miami.
The Cavender twins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember them. Remember,
Yeah,
they
they signed
signed.
an NIL deal. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
signed, and there was this jump, and like there was all this stuff, and then you didn't hear anything, and then they were back.
Mhm.
Then they went back to college basketball.
Mhm.
So
Well, I think with our NIL program with WWE,
Yeah.
you can still continue. My son TJ is actually on an NIL deal
okay,
from WWE. Doesn't mean you stop playing
okay,
sports.
got it, got
Yeah,
it,
it
got it.
just means that there's an avenue for you if sports don't work out. That they have you in the system, they have you in the radar, they bring you around, you learn the culture, you start learning the faces that are in the locker room, you ask questions, you take advantage of the resources that come with WWE and our platform and working with our social media team, how to create content, what to post, what not to post,
Okay,
how to post it, what times of day to post it, all these things that a lot of folks are making mistakes with.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
now
yeah.
you have, I mean, we have more followers than all the sports organizations combined.
It's a machine. It's a
Yeah,
machine,
yeah. So to not take this platform and
and
make the
extend it.
best of it, yeah,
Yeah,
would be crazy, you
yeah,
know? And so for me, I always, even when I played football, I always said, this is what I do for a living. It's not who I am for a living.
yeah,
And I think the reason why I'm so respected in the locker room and with the company is because I've always remained a solid dude, you
yeah,
know, and I've always spoke up when I needed to speak up about something.
yeah,
Um, and sometimes it was not the most diplomatic way to do it, but they always knew where they stood with me, and I always knew where I stood with them.
yeah,
And you know, I love every person in that locker room. I love the backstage hands. I was just with them, you know, last night,
yeah,
and you know, just everybody, I miss you, man, and I miss you, and this and that. And but I don't miss bumping every night, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
yeah,
taking a 4 hour car ride after a show and doing it again the next morning and this and
yeah,
that. So, but I love the greatest thing that I love about WWE is the ability to bring people together
yeah,
that you know in front of their televisions or in arenas and let them escape their realities for 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours if it's one of our premium live events. Because some of those people that are coming to those shows are dealing with a lot of stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I was with a kid last night that, you know, again, 11 years old, beat cancer. It just came back.
Mm.
You know, I took him backstage. I got him merch. I made sure he had great seats, him and his mom and his sister. And it's those moments for me that like supersede any championship title.
Yeah,
You know, people forget that I was the first ever 24/7 champion. I forget sometimes, but I never forget how much money I helped raise for Susan G. Komen,
yeah.
how much money I helped raise for the V Foundation, or
Yeah,
how many. You know,
you're built different, bro. I mean, I know. I mean, I know that you espouse all of these qualities and criteria that a lot of different people meet. But just like you did to me in the opening,
mhm,
I think you're definitely built different. Like just even our interaction,
yeah,
you being on less than 1%,
mhm,
like this, the deepness by which you look at anytime you're going to spend your time.
mhm,
I can tell why.
mhm,
Like you came in with
yeah,
this, disruption, all those things that
yeah,
we espouse in less than 1%. You embody.
yeah. But I
So
also gotta say, uh, transparently speaking,
yeah,
uh, the to have the ability to go on a podcast with a doctor that doesn't have to practice unless they want to, but is still building a hell of a business with Vituity and encouraging people. And I walk through the office and I see all the sayings, I see all the motivational quotes, I see your office, which is tremendous. Um, and I see all these things, and then being able to, like you say, sit down and have a meal with you, talk to your wife on the phone. Um, know that you've been married for 30 years. I aspire to get married again, and I hope, you know, I mean, I'm 49 now. I hope I can live to 30 years of marriage and beyond, you
yeah,
know? And you talk about your own, I mean, you open up to me about your own personal things that were going on with being burned like right out of the gate, and your wife sticking there with you, and then your son and his health condition, and just a whole year of like trying to like
Yeah. Not
work through.
cry.
Yeah, yeah. And it's as man to man, but specifically in this setting, black man to black man, uh, you are a superhero. Like I can't. I met my first brain surgeon, African American brain surgeon, like 5 years ago, and I've literally sat with the Crown Prince of Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia. I've sat with presidents. I've sat, and I'm like, we added a medical magnet to the middle school that bears my name on it. And it's like, I want our kids, which
Yeah.
are 100% free and reduced lunch kids, black and brown kids, to be able to say, here's a doctor, here's a brain surgeon,
Yeah.
you know, here's an anesthesiologist right before you, you know, here's a person that leads a hospital, here's a head, nurse, here's a radiologist, here's all these people that look like you, um, that can give you a vision of where you can be.
Yeah.
Because in their circumstance, they don't see that. And so even with, like you say, everything that I do is very transformationally driven. Like there's certain, and I won't say it because they might have a deal waiting on me, but there's certain pieces that I just won't serve, or a piece of change that I won't serve kids because I don't eat it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I won't serve families anything that I wouldn't serve my own family.
Mm.
Just won't do it. I won't give any kid a toy that I wouldn't give to my own
Yeah.
kids. That's why there's a mandatory requirement. Like the gifts that I give to families in partnership with Metropolitan Ministries, they have to be at $25 or more. I think
Yeah.
that a good quality gift at least costs $25.
Yeah.
Because you get a 12-year-old kid that gets a plastic bag with
Yeah.
teddy bear, a coloring book, and some crayons, and
It's not meaningful.
no, and there's no dignity behind that.
Yeah.
Like everything I like, I don't do wrap gifts.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and people say, well, why would you do that? I say, at 12 years old, I got a really nice remote control car from this white lady at the Boys and Girls Club, and she brought it to me, and she said, I bought this gift specifically for you
Wow.
because I wanted you to have a nice gift. I kept that remote control car until my junior year in college.
Yeah.
My college roommate, Johanse and Daryl, are the reason why I don't have that car now. And I fought with them for about 2 or 3 days about that car. And to them, it was just a car. To me, it was the first time at 12 years old, I'm getting ready to go to the boys' ranch. Um, but at 12 years old, somebody said, I bought this specifically for you because I wanted you to have a nice gift.
Mm.
And I had batteries with it and everything. It wasn't just the car, it was everything I needed to let the car work.
Yeah.
And it was unwrapped. So I saw right away it was something that I wanted or I didn't want. Kids that are coming from circumstances that I came from, uh, they're told you're only good enough to eat this kind of food. You're only good enough to wear these type of clothes. You're only good enough to live in this type of house, and you're only good enough to go to this type of school. And it's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everybody has the right, especially in the greatest country in the world,
Mm-hmm.
to have the best of the best. We brag and boast about it all the time, but we're really not the best when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
We're not the
Yeah.
best at healthcare in this
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
You know, we're not the best at treating our veterans like they serve this country.
I say we're not the best at compassion.
Yeah, we're not. It's very transactional,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
and we lead the world in mass incarceration. We lead the world in mass shootings.
Yeah.
I've traveled the world, um, Japanese culture. We could learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
You go over there, it's the cleanest place you ever go. I don't even think they sell gum.
Yeah.
You get into a taxi cab, it could be a 1999 Camry. It will smell like a 2026.
Well, there's that video after that World Cup game
Oh yeah,
where the Japanese
they
stayed
clean up.
and cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, one of my
Yeah. We talked yesterday
mentees,
about him. Yeah.
out there cleaning up with him. I'm so incredibly proud of him.
Yeah.
But it's just like the only time we're truly great in this country is in times of tragedy.
Yeah.
Hurricane hits, see the best of people.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and
And
prayers.
then 2 days later or 3 days
Scraps.
later, we go right back.
Yeah.
This Nolan Wells things have me sick to my stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's
Like,
tough.
sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
But there are tons of stories
Yeah.
of black and brown kids missing,
Yeah.
murdered. It's the history of this country that nobody wants to talk about
Yeah.
and seemingly wants to erase. It's
Yeah.
like, I've never seen an image, my entire 49 years of living, I've never seen an image of a white man or a white woman hanging from a tree. Never seen it.
That's so
I've
true.
never seen an image of a white man or a white woman being hosed down by fire hoses or being attacked by dogs from police.
Yeah.
I've never seen a white man or a white woman be told they can't sit a certain place. I've never seen blacks only signs.
Yeah.
Never
Y-
seen it.
You know, it's interesting you say that. It's a thing that I always say every on presentations I go to, because people want to bait you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm the only black CEO in this space, and they want to bait me into whatever they
Yeah.
want to promote.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time. I said, to your point, when you look historically at the stories, you actually take away um, what you know about race. Just
Mm-hmm.
take away. Just
Yeah.
call them the Americanites, or
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you look at this story and if you watched it on TV, you would feel so terrible
Mhm.
about what happened
Mm-hmm.
to this
Yeah.
community of people
Mm-hmm.
that was only a community because they were brought here.
Yeah.
And so what I notice right now is that in our culture, um, there's a little bit of the victim culture where
Mhm.
everybody, you talk to people like, hey, I was treated badly because I lived in, I'm from Toronto,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or I'm
Yeah.
from home so and so,
Yeah.
and say, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, you might have
Yeah.
been,
Yeah.
but if you listen to this story,
Mhm.
this is not just somebody treating one person badly because
Yeah.
you're from Toronto.
Right. Right.
This is a whole structure,
Yeah.
systemic
Mm-hmm.
system of
Privilege, entitlement.
demeaning and
Yeah. Yeah.
demoralizing a group of individuals
It's
because of
never
a certain thing.
it's
It's
never.
unprecedented.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't attribute this to this current administration alone. Like, folks always say, I believe that, so to me, I believe that the heart of America it has always been amazing.
Yes.
The heart of America.
Yes.
The soul of America has always been dark.
Yeah.
You got to remember how this country was founded,
Yeah.
how it was built, how people made money, how systems were put in place. I mean, I'm 1/5 of a man. This is
Yeah.
written.
Yeah.
This is written by people that are in this United States of America.
Yeah.
You have Juneteenth and you have Independence Day.
Yeah.
Two different stories being told, two different narratives being told.
Yeah.
You know, we can celebrate both and still tell
Yeah.
the truth.
We talked about that the
Yeah.
number one impact of sports, or whatever it is, the
Yeah.
stories. And
Yeah.
I love how you said that there's these two stories that are 2 weeks
Yeah,
apart.
yeah. I mean, they could play the Super Bowl a week after they find out who's playing in the game.
Yeah.
Why don't they? Because they got to build
They
stories.
got to
They
build
got to build
stories.
up. It's got to tell all these stories about the offensive lineman that, lost his dad at
Yeah.
such and such time, or this, kicker that wife is battling X, Y, and Z, this and that. You got to get people invested, because if it's not my team, why would I care about the Super Bowl?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would I care about the Super Bowl if I don't even watch football? Oh, the halftime show.
Mm.
One of my favorite artists is performing. I want to see what they do there,
Yeah.
And everything in our lives is storytelling. It's story first. When people meet you, what's your story? They want to know where you're from, you know, your parents, this and that. Any relationship you build is story first.
Yeah.
So why can't the change in this country start with story
From
first?
stories.
The
100%.
real story, not made up shit
Yeah.
on either side.
Right.
Real stories.
Right. And then
Because
let
we're
people draw their own conclusions
Yeah.
from that story.
Yeah, and that are built on truth.
Yeah.
Like, here, this may not be your truth. You may not have ever experienced this, but I've seen it time and time again. To my white friends, I tell them all the time, the conversations I have to have with my children, my black children, when I'm handing them a set of keys to a car in regards to how you have to perform if you ever get pulled over.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm
You know, the worries
w-
that they have
yeah.
about, you know, the worries that I have about my kids going off on a boat with their
It's not,
friends.
I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
It's not happening. We talked about this
Mm-hmm.
in our family.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're just not going. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's to your point about these conversations that happen. If a bunch of friends are getting together
Yeah.
and you're going out to some island,
If I don't, yeah.
you're not going.
If I don't, I mean, my kids' friends can't stay the night at my house unless I know their parents and
Yeah,
unless I've talked to their parents.
100%.
My kids can't stay at their house unless I know their parents,
Yeah.
unless I've had conversations with their parents.
Yeah.
And we may be on completely opposite ends of the spectrum on a lot of things, but it's some things that like I feel like are basic morals and convictions and values that I think every household should possess, no matter where you come from.
Which in that case, no matter what happened
Yeah.
those basic fundamentals. I mean, if he did slip off the boat or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
the fact that you wouldn't immediately call
Call
and say,
somebody.
"Oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
yeah, yes,
well, if
yeah,
he just slipped," or we
yeah,
pushed him, or
yeah,
whatever the case may be. So the fact that you can come all the way back and like,
yeah,
I don't know where he's
yeah.
at,
Hours after
not cool.
yeah. And the fact that also too, it's Mississippi, which the
Yeah.
history,
Yeah.
you know, there. And I'm not saying any of this to make this all Mississippian people are
Right.
bad or
Right.
all white
Right.
people, like all black people are this, and it's just telling the truth.
Yeah. It's just the
Yeah.
situation.
And so if we want to talk about like the 1%,
Yeah.
like part of that 1% is being able to be truthful to reality.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I may not like where I'm at right now, but I'm sure as hell ain't gonna stay here.
Yeah. And
And
it's
yeah,
and it's how you break boxes. You know, I
yeah,
talk about it all the time. The way you break boxes, you have to be truthful about the box that you're
yeah,
in.
yeah,
You know, and whatever in for us in
yeah,
different ways,
yeah.
you get to points in your life where you're like, you know what, I don't like the way I am, or the direction I'm going is not the right direction. We joked about me fighting all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, like you.
An alcoholic, everybody else knows. If one or two people call you something, a drug addict or alcoholic, 4 or 5 people calling you that, everybody ain't lying.
Yeah.
You got a
Right.
problem, bro.
Yeah.
And until you recognize I have a problem and you want to do something about it, you will continue down this pattern of destruction. So America has to realize at some point we have a problem. We have a problem accepting people for where they come from. We love the cultures that are celebrated here,
Yeah.
but we don't want to afford everybody the same opportunities.
Yeah. It's
Like this whole immigration
yeah.
thing, like this
Yeah.
country literally would not be what it is if we
Yeah.
did not have the melting pot of cultures in it.
Yeah.
So you don't want Hispanics here. You don't want, you know, people from the Hispanic culture here. You know, you don't want them here. All right, don't stop celebrating Cinco de Mayo so much then.
Right. Right.
All right, stop listening to certain music. Stop eating certain foods. If you're that militant about culture and people being in this country, and you feel like you own this country, then don't participate in
Yeah.
any of those things.
Yeah, which is, I mean, again, I think it's a shame because I think, and I've said this on the podcast before, I'm apolitical. Like
Yeah,
you look at
yeah,
me like I'm Canadian, I'm Jamaican
yeah,
descent,
yeah, yeah.
I'm here in America, so I really don't get caught up in teams.
I don't either.
But what I do
I
know,
will say this
yeah,
publicly. I think both sides are full of shit.
and this is my,
So
yeah,
there are some that are making great moves, this and that, but like they argue on the floor and then they're eating a steak together in a back
yeah,
room at a
which is,
steakhouse, you
and at
know.
the end of the day, just
Yeah.
like you did in the foundation,
Mm-hmm.
or we do, it's
Yeah.
funny because we, for everybody that's watching this, we literally just met for the, no, it's not true. We met
Hmm.
when my dad begged me to take a picture with him
Yeah.
at
At a big three.
big three event. And then since then, you know, what you do in the foundation is exactly what we do in Vituti Cares.
Right.
You know, I'm watching it. I was like, you know, haircuts, like
Yeah.
all these ways to dignify people who in some ways have lost their dignity. But back to the politics, I just think that if you and I will disagree on something,
Yeah.
but we still can get together and do great work.
I mean, we went to dinner the other night. I like seafood. You don't eat seafood. I'm like,
What's wrong with this fool?
This brother's from Jamaica.
Yeah, it's weird.
And he
It's
don't eat
weird.
seafood. Like,
And he goes fishing and doesn't eat that.
yeah, he goes fishing and don't eat fish. Like, who does that? But I to that point, for me, everything always comes down to people. I love people. I don't care where they come from. I don't care what they have, what they don't have, because I say this all the time that people invested in me when they had nothing to gain in return.
Yeah.
So a lot of those people, they wrote checks to the Boys Ranch. They wrote checks to the Boys and Girls Club. They didn't know what kid was going to turn out what kind of way. They just did it blindly. They volunteered. They did all these things. So how do I repay those people that I don't know and they don't know me?
Love it. Love it.
I repay them by doing the exact same thing for others.
So
loving and investing in people when I have nothing to gain in return. My return is already in heaven.
Yeah.
Like literally.
But
And
my dad will say that your return been advanced.
Yeah.
You actually got it ahead of time, so you got work to do.
Yeah.
Okay, but that brings me to another point. So, definitely, and a lot of people are going to look at this and say, you are a lot deeper, than sort of your external persona. But, obviously after watching this, they're going to know different than that. But I ask a question to everybody on the show that I'm very interested, and I did not cheat. I don't know your answer, so you're going to get an authentic reaction from me. But a superpower is something that we talked about intrinsically to you, something you do without losing energy, something that you do all the time, something that if we call 25 people and you say, hey, what do you think Mu's superpower is? You may not get the exact word, but you're going to get some rendition of it. So for you, what is that one thing? What is that one? You might have multiple qualities, but what is that one superpower you'd say you have?
I'm a transformational leader.
Mm.
I will force you to think outside the norm. And I will manifest, and I'm a great manifester.
Yeah.
If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I tell you you're capable of doing something, you're capable of doing it. Now, how we go about getting there, that's all those things I can't give you details on. I just know that if God gives me a vision, then it is possible.
Now, so what is the motivation behind that? I'm going to dig deeper here a little bit. Like, what is the skill or the quality or the feeling that you have behind that transformational leadership?
Can't's not an option.
Mm.
I was told my entire life what I can't do.
Mm.
And it was all a lie. And then I believe in God. And the Bible says I can do all things through Christ.
Yeah.
So if I know for a fact that God has given me the ability to do something, it may be difficult, but it can be done because I'm powered by God.
Yeah.
I get empowered by what these people that come into my life to help me continue to believe what God has already shown me.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all it is. You get one word from one person that tells you that you can when everything else is telling you that you can't. That's my superpower. I'm never going to tell you what you can't do. What I will say is, well, maybe we do it this way.
Right.
Or maybe try it this way. Or maybe your idea is actually for someone else, but if you partner with them, something that's supposed to be for you will make more sense.
Right.
But if a lot of people don't want to partner. They want because it's me. It's my thing. Every successful artist that I know, every successful artist that you know, they have a whole team of people. Writers, producers, staff members that make sure they get to their flights. You got a whole media company that's promoting you on different platforms, and you have photographers, and you have this entire team that you don't even realize. Like, if it's not for these people, I'm nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and that's for me. It's like I want you to know everybody is somebody,
Yeah.
and everything has the ability to grow. Everything, nothing's ever dead. It's just dormant. That's what
So
I
we
learned
have
in
a
church.
yes. We have
Nothing's ever dead. It's dormant.
yes. Yes. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing that is ever
Nothing's
dead.
ever dead. It's dormant.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, you know, even in a relationship, oh man, you know, this is over. Like, you know, they don't want this and I don't want this and yada, yada, yada. All right, what's dormant in that relationship? What's been abandoned? My business is dead. No, it's not. Because with the right resource and the right people, this thing is just it can change like that.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have. So it's funny you say that about can't. So I think on the back of my wristbands and on the, we had some T-shirts at Essence.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, tell me I can't and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, you tell me I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you say, hey, Moo, you can do it. I'm like, all right, you know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
might try.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. You tell
Mm-hmm.
me I can't.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me I can't write a book. You tell me I can't put out an album. I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch this, you
Yeah.
know. So I definitely. So okay, now we have to validate it. So
Okay.
now we're gonna get on the line with somebody you think. By the way, no, 2 days ago at dinner, and I don't know what we were doing, and he gets on his phone. All I hear is, you know, like FaceTime,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, okay. He's like, hey, say hi to Moo. And I'm like, what? It's
Yeah.
Cam Carlos Boo's around.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, say hi to Moo. I was like, hi.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he thought I was another black guy sitting at the bar. He just saw us back. And I'm like, bro, you used to work out with me every morning when we was doing this damn show. And I was like, you acting like the white people. Yeah, all black people don't look alike. So that gave him a hell of a kick. So he FaceTimed me because he was just laughing about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm at dinner in Dallas, bro. Like,
Yeah.
nowhere near Las Vegas right now.
So we're gonna call one or a few people and see if we can validate your superpower. You want to set them up?
Hey, brother.
Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, just give you I'm gonna give you your own speakerphone, and you're talking to a few 100,000 people right now. So don't say nothing crazy. No, I wanted to.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna introduce Moo. I'll let Moo introduce himself.
Yeah. How you doing?
Doing great, man.
Good. Sorry to bother you. We got Thaddeus here on our Less Than 1% podcast, and we ask him a question, and then we want to validate it. Not that I don't believe him, but we want to validate it, and he chose to call you. And so, would you mind answering a question or two?
Absolutely.
All right, appreciate you. So we ask everybody on this podcast about their superpower. You know, what is their superpower? That thing that is special to them that only they can do. And he gave us an answer, but we wanted to hear from you.
Okay. Man, I'm going to say, I always tell me an impact architect. Like, he knows how to pull people together. He intentionally creates opportunities for people. Oh, man, I can go on. I can write a book about it, but I'll keep it short. But most of the things that I've noticed about him by making impact, you know, he not only impacts people around him, but anybody he come in contact with, you know. I mean, just one conversation with him is transforming, you know. He loves transforming communities and organizations, you know, getting them to think beyond, you know, just themselves and just being selfish. So he knows how to see the thing that's dead and bring it to life, and not only impact the person that is close to it, but the people that's around it and their families as well. So I would say his superpower is impact.
So just for the record, he did not text you this, right? I mean, this is eerily similar to what he just said to us.
Listen, we talk so much, man. We're gonna say the same thing. We talk literally every day. So
That's awesome.
If he said it, that means we've been talking about it, because that's what we do. When it comes to impact, man, we spend countless hours just talking about it, and just how God is just transforming lives, man, through us, and just, man, he has a big heart to help people, man, and that's what I love about my brother, you know. You know, one thing about it is one thing for sure. If you can't talk less vision around him, he gonna find a way to bring vision out of you. So don't come around here talking about you can't, because he gonna find a way to find out yes you can. You know, what can you do? You know, and I'll say this last year, I'll say this too. Like, even when it comes to money and people wanting to give money to his organization, like, he don't want people just giving him money to the organization. He wants them to come and be a part of it, because it's one thing to write a check, but it's another thing to understand what your check is doing to people, and seeing people's hearts change and their lives change. Man, it's worth more than money. So that's why I say he's an impact architect, because that joker is. That's
think?
what he is, man. I love him so much, man. That's what he does. So yeah, we're gonna say some similar thing, because that's what we always talk about, man. So
That's awesome.
that's my brother.
I appreciate you, man. I'm probably
Appreciate
make
you
one
too,
more
bro.
phone call to somebody just to further validate what I you know, not that I ever was in a position, but this is a 1% podcast where they're gonna put you in a position where we need evidence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, brother. Love
All
you, bro.
right.
I gotta say, I think this is
Word for word.
word for word. I
Word
mean,
for word.
I'm gonna call Armika, who set this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Armika?
What's going on, Thaddeus?
Oh, I need you to pick up your pace. There's several 100,000 people. I don't want you to sound downtrodden talking to me. We
I'm
we
I'm
on did I catch you at a bad time, or like what's going on?
No, you're good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I got Dr. Mu here on the phone.
Okay.
So he does something on his podcast where he asks a question to the
Mm.
guests, and then calls has the guest call someone or a couple people to validate whether or not that was kind of something that was being said just because it sound good, or if that's something that they truly are. So,
Okay.
um, Dr. Mu.
Yeah. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. What about yourself?
Oh, doing great. Doing great.
Oh, why you sound so much hyper when you talk to him than you talk to me? What's going on? Yeah. Oh, you see how she shifted? Oh, I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Oh my God, Thaddeus. Stop it.
Well, yeah. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for being excited when you
when you spoke to him. Yeah, when you spoke to him.
But we asked Thaddeus a question about his superpower, and we wanted to validate it by asking you, what do you believe his superpower is? That thing that's special to him that only he can do.
Mm. Okay. I would say that Thaddeus consistently transforms his mission and his vision into a reality throughout his whole entire life. From overcoming different adversities to becoming a global ambassador, a philanthropist, a father, an author, an actor, a respected community leader, he has demonstrated that purpose, faith, and turning obstacles into opportunities is definitely in his DNA. More importantly, he inspires others to envision a greater future for themselves and equips them with the confidence and hope and resources to pursue it. So, creating a ripple effect of positive change in individuals and families and communities is just who Thaddeus is.
I mean, I'm getting nervous about this because everybody we call has exactly the same description.
How did Michael Jordan do when he hit them like 6 threes in a row in the finals?
You put your hands up. You're just like, this is me. No, but that's
Wow.
yeah, like verbatim. But it's just, I think, a testament to the impact that he is having, and again, the time that I've been here with him, I feel it. So So we're laughing because we appreciate how consistent this has been in an analysis of his superpower.
Okay. Also, I'm glad. Is he behaving over there? Look, don't record that.
Well,
Yeah.
we've had some issues, but
Yeah.
we've kept it under wraps.
I've only said about 3 or 4 cuss words, but they going
That's what I was referring to. He ain't dropping no bombs, did he?
But we did sense a little tweak in the accent when you got on the line, which I'm going to talk to him about when we get off here. A little tweak.
Oh, okay. Well, she tweaked for me, so I figured I'd tweak for her. You know what I'm saying? Since we around here tweaking.
Yes, got it. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Sorry to take your time and sorry to
course.
hit you spur of the moment, but
Fine.
this is such a
No,
good
you're
segment
good.
for the podcast. People really love it. So thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, Thaddeus.
Okay, bye.
Hi, Dot. Bye.
Oh,
Wow.
oh. Oh, man. That was, you can
Man,
take
he
him
was
out,
2
Dot.
for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take the headphones
Oh,
off.
okay.
Yeah. No. That's not a 2 for 2. That's like a 4 for 2. Like, I mean, it's not just what you said or, hey, I'm like, mine is relentlessness. My superpower is relentlessness. I just will keep going and go. I talked to you a little about my compulsion to just, kind of keep doing more and trying to be great. But they were consistent with their description of you. So that was, I mean, that's probably been one of the, besides Marty.
Yeah, I
Marty
think those
Bennett.
2 are at the top.
Yeah, Marty Bennett was, I mean, his family, like, I
Yeah.
mean, it was the same way,
Mm.
but besides that, it was the closest. All right, so I have 2 more questions. He's got to catch a flight because
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a responsible host by sending him home late.
Yeah, all good.
So 2 questions. One is there something that you can tell us here on Less Than 1%? You told us a lot that I think had been said other places and some that hasn't. But can you think of one thing that has people don't know about you, or that something that's happened to you that you've never said before, in any podcast or any interview?
I love people, but I don't like crowds.
Mm,
If that makes sense. Like I like celebrity. I think I told you this. I don't really like celebrity. I don't like everything that comes with it, except for the free stuff. I don't like it because people automatically start treating you like a circus animal.
right.
You wouldn't go up to a normal human being and just be like touching them and poking them and like, hey, can you take this picture? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? It would be considered rude. But
Yeah.
people do it to celebrities and athletes and entertainers all the time, and then they wonder why folks crack or break.
Yeah.
Like we're human, just like everyone else. We just are extraordinary in a different way.
Yeah.
But all of us are extraordinary. We're all human. We all have this, like I said before, we all are born with the same gray anatomy. We're just superstars in different senses.
Yeah.
But I just think that humanity goes out the window sometimes when people talk about certain celebrities or athletes. How you gonna call somebody sorry and you in the stands?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how you gonna critique somebody
Yeah.
music when you can't hold a note at
Hey,
all?
we talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So it's just like I love people, but I don't like crowds.
Yeah.
I am much more happy at home. Like I redo my home like 2 or 3 times.
Right. We talked about
Yeah, I've done it. I would say 3 times over the last 5 years. Where
Yeah.
I just wake up one morning and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do new furniture. I'm gonna change this out. I'm gonna change this out. Do this. I think the other thing that like I probably haven't spoken about as openly about is I really want to know what my assignment is going to be when I go to heaven.
Mm.
I think a lot of people that are, talking about going to heaven. I mean, you ask them if they want to go to heaven or you want to go to hell. Right? And a lot of people, and it's like, I want to go to heaven. All right, what are you going to do when you go up there? What's going to be your job? Because a lot of people think people just up there chilling and drinking and
Mm.
this paradise and this and that and yada, yada, yada. You have assignments up there.
Because you
And
still want to have an impact. That's your.
I'm going to.
You're
I tell
going
folks
to.
all the time,
Yeah.
like, I'll never die.
Yeah.
I will never die. Thaddeus Bullard will never die. And even when my earthly body leaves here, I'll never die. As long as there is a family or a kid or an adult, and they're like people that I've impacted somewhere along the line, if there's enough of those people living, I'll never die.
Yeah.
And so I live my life not based on my passion, because my passion can change. All of us, our passions can change. It's really based on my purpose.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about the afterlife of, like, everybody's like, oh, you travel here, you do this, you do that, you do that. Yeah, but I'm still thinking about the afterlife. That's why I perform the way I perform here, because all my treasures are stored in heaven. That's
Yeah.
why I don't care about money like that.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody. They really talk about heaven as an end,
Yeah.
and
No.
you're the first person I've ever met that
Mm.
said, "No, I want to know what I'm going to do there.
Yeah.
Like, what's the
Yeah. Like, what's
assignment?
my
Not
assignment
even
gonna
what I'm
be?
going to do.
Yeah.
What job are you going to
Yeah.
assign to me when I'm here?"
Because we're way makers up there, man.
That's awesome.
Like, and I think a lot of people need to understand, like, the things you do here on earth, those are skills developing for what you're going to do up in heaven. And, our treasures are stored in heaven. So no matter
Yeah.
how much money you make here, like, where's the true treasure at? Is
Yeah.
the true treasure in your family? Because you can talk to your family from up there too.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk to my grandma every once in a while.
Yeah.
I remember conversations that I had with my grandmother every once in a while. I remember Patrick Minogue, the white guy from Chicago, Illinois, that told me, I love you and I believe you, at a very pivotal point in my life. And there are coaches, there are teachers, there are people that spoke life into me that are not here anymore, that I
Yeah.
can still remember to this day, where I was, how certain things smell, like how I felt. And the 8-year-old Thaddeus and the 80-year-old Thaddeus will never be too far apart. So once you get past 80, for me, I'm like, okay, well, the average lifespan of a man doesn't reach 80 years old nowadays,
Yeah.
especially in this country. Now, you
Yeah.
go other places, like they live until they're almost down there 100, 105, because
Yeah.
the food's better
Yeah.
and the way of life is better. So I think about this often, like, when I leave here, what am I what am I going to do, and how will God use me up there?
Yeah. That's
And that
powerful.
that enhances my ability to do everything. That's why it accelerates everything. Like, no, I got to do this now. We got to do this now. People always like, man, that dude gets stuff done. I have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
What
know
tomorrow
what
brings.
tomorrow brings. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
And when I go up there, I want to have that same vigor. I want to have that same excitement. And if God says, "Hey, I need you to sweep over here in this corner for the next 5 years," I need to be adamant about doing that, because I'm trying to be faithful in the little so that I can avail in the much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people want: new cars, but they're not even taking care of the one they got. They want to
Yeah.
live in a house, but they're not taking care of the one that they're renting. So how can God bless you with more? How can he bless you with a bigger platform when you're not even
You're not taking
utilizing
care of
what
what
you're
you got.
doing right now?
Yeah. So the people out there, you talked a lot about, tell me I can't, see what happens. A lot of people who consume this podcast and follow, read Less Than 1%, all that stuff, they're out there. And if you could speak to them, and if there's one thing that you would tell them to encourage them to keep their fight going, what advice would you give them?
Don't make a temporary decision, a permanent decision based on a temporary situation. And it's all temporary. Like, just because you are down right now doesn't mean you're going to be down forever. Everybody has pivotal moments in their life that things don't look as well and great as they should. They have it with their health, they have it with their family, they have it with their finances, they have it with their jobs, their occupations, their careers. You take anybody that served for our military for 20 plus years, and then they decide to retire, and they're only 40 something years old because they did it out of
Mm.
college or they did it out of high school. That's a hell of a pivot to wake up in the morning and not be and have this freedom of not having to worry about ordered steps. Now you got to order your own steps outside of the confines of what you've done for the last 20 years. There are people that get laid off after 25 years of service, and it's like, man, why me? Why not you? You know, maybe God was removing you from that situation because you got comfortable in the mediocre. You
Yeah.
got comfortable in the average. You know these people weren't doing what they were supposed to do, and you still just rolled with it because it was a safety net.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Well, I would say this. I'd say, thank you. First of all, thank you for coming. Thank you for, not just coming and really participating. You poured into me as a brother.
Yeah.
You poured into my platform, this podcast. You poured into people out there when they watch this. So thank you, because I know I've been listening to you on the phone. By the way, we did not talk about the fact that this is the number one. Oh, I was supposed to do this. I don't care what his friends say. His number one superpower is his multitasking. This dude, listen, I'm the CEO of a $3 billion company. And I said to somebody, I was like, maybe I should start texting my team more, because he literally texts an email. We talked about B-roll for the podcast.
Yeah.
3 minutes after I told him, I get a bloop on my phone that the email was his ability to multitasking. You talk about impact architect. It's not just the architect for me that I see, it's the doing. And that comes, we talked about sports and everything. So I'm going to end the podcast. I know you're going to try to argue with me, but the
I'm not gonna
number one multitasker in the history of humankind. But before I let him go, I want to give him something. And I waited to do it on camera just because so I give everybody that comes a signed book, and I write a little note in there. So I'm going to give it to you here on the podcast. So, and I know this ain't a manly thing to do to put it in the box, but there's no
fun.
there are no fluffy things in that box. But anyway, it's just a copy of the book, and wrote you a little note in there.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Enjoyed our time. Love the impact you are having. Keep disrupting and changing the game. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. And
the brother left a check in.
no, there's no money in there. There's no money.
I ain't know you say you wanted to bless me with something, you know. I ain't know some little extra, you know.
That's how it happens. Like, when you get you get that birthday card, and the first thing you do is shake it, and they like, you need to read it. I'm like, I ain't reading
That
nothing.
was your opportunity to say, no, your treasures are in heaven.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you're right.
No. Not when you have to get on a flight. I'm not willing that. I'm not willing that. But appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you, bro.
Thaddeus Bullard.
Yes, sir.
Come check him out. Oh, wait. Please, I would encourage all of you out there not to just check out the wrestler, the Dancing with the Stars personality. Go check out his book, Wrestling with Fatherhood. He has several books. Go to Instagram and really look at the other side of what you may not see when you just see the celebrity. So, I mean, this guy's deep beyond measure. I got a new brother. I got to step up my game when dealing with my brother, though. Get in the weight room a little more.
No, you're good.
But I appreciate you for coming, man.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Never let them tell you can't. You are undeniable. You are undefeatable. You are the less than 1%.